Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have something very interesting to show you, and with me I have these Plume sponges. These were sent to me. Thank you so much, Plume, for sending these over. Today I will be showing you how to use these sponges correctly, how to wash them correctly, and I will be giving my reviews on them as well, how they are and what I think about them. So if you want to know that, please keep on watching. Plume Co is a new brand of beauty sponges, and they have come up with their very own microfiber sponges. Now this has been going on for a while, the rave about microfiber sponges, and unlike other beauty blenders, allegedly they do not soak up any product whatsoever, so that the coverage of your foundations and concealers are retained. And this innovation was first done by the company Juno. I'm sure you've all seen Juno sponges and the reviews done by Nikki Tutorials and everyone. So Plume Co is an Indian brand who have come up with the same thing, and when I mean same, I mean same, ditto. Even the packaging is the same, which I think they have done it just so that people see this and are aware that this is the velvet sponge. But I feel like they could have made a different packaging, because I don't think companies would want anyone to have the exact same packaging. Even the products look very similar, but they are a really good brand, and I just hope that they can work on the packaging a little bit. Other than that, these are really good and a wonderful job has been done with them. So let's just see first what the company claims that they can do. So here, this is what it looks like. Teardrop shaped sponge, and this is the contour or baking sponge. And I also have this one, which is also by them, and this is the teardrop sponge in aqua. I'm going to be telling you the differences between the three in a while, but let's first see what the company claims that these do. So according to them, if you're looking for a natural airbrushed foundation finish, the microfiber velvet sponge is your go-to. Made with velvet soft microfiber bristles and a slanted edge for controlled stippling, the microfiber velvet sponge provides buildable coverage fast. They are also latex free as well as cruelty free, which is always a good thing. Now let's move on to see the products. Alright, so this is how the three of them look like. Quite fuzzy, and that's what the microfibers are for, and that is the thing that actually keeps the product from getting absorbed. The foundations get stuck in this microfiber, and that's why they don't get absorbed. I think this is a really good idea, and for Plume Co to bring it to India where Juno is not accessible. I mean, you can get it shipped, but then you have the burden of customs and a long time delivery and everything. And it's really good to see that our very own Indian brands are also in on the innovation. So that's nice. Now moving on to each of these sponges. So let's first start with this one. So this is their microfiber sponge in aqua, and I have been using this for a way longer time than I've been using the other two, because this was sent first. This has a teardrop shape, which you can use for baking under your eyes and also for blending your concealer out. I use this to get into the corners when I blend my concealer or foundation. And this also has a flat edge, which I'm not really sure what exactly this helps in, but I have used this to do my foundation and it does do a good job. But I'm not gonna lie, this is not the softest. And even when you wet it, after a few minutes, it does feel a little bit dry. It does blend really well and it does not absorb any product. This is the teardrop sponge in the shade Blush, and this is so soft. I'm not kidding, this is very soft, and honestly this is my favorite one because I like my beauty blenders to be really soft. And this is also supposed to not absorb your makeup. According to their website, they save absorption from up to 40%, and I think that's really great because a lot of times we apply our foundations but they're just nowhere, especially if they're not full coverage. Then you can't even see them and we have to go in with a second layer, and that leads to a lot of wastage of product. And with these, you don't have any wastage of products. We'll be seeing the demo after this, so just hang on. And this also has the same functions as the other one. You can blend your foundation, concealer, blush, highlight, contour, bake, you can do everything with this one sponge, to be honest. And now moving to this one. This is their contour or baking sponge in Aqua, and the main function of this is to bake. You can bake under your eyes and everywhere else, honestly. This is not as soft as the blush variant, but it does have a round bottom and you can definitely blend out your liquid products, as I'm going to be showing you. But the main purpose of it is to bake under the eyes, and that is why this shape is there. This, especially this part of it, really helps to get under your eyes as well as the hollows of your cheekbones. That is what you'd want to do with this. And now let's just jump into the demo. And if you want to jump to how to store and clean the brushes, then I will be having a timestamp right here, so you can just skip on that. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Hey guys, we are here with my bare face, and now let's just move on to the demo of the video. First, I will be trying out this teardrop sponge. These two sponges have the same essential function. It's just that this is a little less soft and this is way more soft. And this has a flattened edge, which is good if you want to, you know, spread out the product on your face and then blend it with the sides. Whereas this one has a rounded edge, and that is why you have to place your product first on the face and then blend it out. So I will be testing this one out for the review because I have already used this one previously in one of my other videos, and I will be linking that above. So make sure to check that out if you want to know how this one works. So I'm just gonna dip it into the bowl of water, obviously, and I'm just soaking the sponge. And make sure that whenever you soak it, you press it like this and not like this, because that way that can cause tears in the sponge and you don't want that. So it's better if you just hold it like this in the water and just press from the teardrop end. Whenever you're squeezing the product out, make sure you're holding the sponge like this or like this, not like this from the sides. So basically don't hold it from the sides, hold it from the front so that you're not damaging the shape of the sponge. So first I will be doing a hand swatch and showing you how a full coverage product looks with this sponge and a normal sponge. So first I will be taking the Maybelline Superstay foundation, and on my left hand I will be taking half of a pump, and then I'm going to blend it out with a normal beauty blender, and this is what it looks like. Now on my right hand I will be taking the same amount of foundation, and I'm going to use the Plume sponge, and it will take a little while longer to blend out, but the coverage is way more, as you can see. You can see in the comparison how natural my left hand looks while my... For the second test, on my left hand I will be taking one whole pump of foundation, and then I'm going to use a normal sponge to blend it out. It will obviously take a long time to blend it out, but after that you can see that it still looks very natural, but it does give a very full coverage. Now on my right hand I will be taking half the amount that we took for the other hand, and then I'm going to use the Plume sponge, and this is just going to show you that you can get the same amount of coverage in just half a pump. This shows how much product you can save. I will be using sheer to medium coverage products or medium to full coverage products, because that is what we use on a regular basis. And personally when I use that and use a normal blender, it tends to take away a lot of the coverage of the product that it has, and that's why I always have to go in with a second layer. So that's what we don't want to do, and that's what we want to avoid, and hence I will be showing you how you can get your full coverage even when you're not using full coverage product. First, I am going to be using a primer. This is the Nykaa Prep Me Up face primer, and I'm just going to take a little bit of it just to prime my face and smoothen my pores out. Well, my right hand looks very airbrushed. Desert Beige. I'm using this one because this is very similar to the formula of the Fit Me foundation. I have kind of run out of this, so I'm not going to use that, and honestly I prefer this one more. So this is a medium coverage product, but you can build it to full coverage. I'm just going to take it with the applicator and put it all over my face. The amount that I would use on a regular day for my foundation, and I'm going to start blending. This is how it looks with everything blended out. Now normally when I do my foundation, this is not the coverage that I would get. You can see that the foundation is stuck here. This does take a little more time to blend out, unlike other sponges, and that's because it is absorbing less product. Of course, that way it's spreading more product than it's absorbing. So for me, the main test comes in the concealer and not the foundation, because my main area of concern is definitely my dark circles, and that's why I think the main test would be how this does my concealer. I mean, I know how it's gonna work out, but I'm just gonna show you how this fares with my concealer. Again, I'm gonna take something which is not too full coverage. This is the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Pure Beige, and this is again a medium coverage product. I don't know why people say that it's full coverage. For my dark circles, it does not give me enough coverage. I always have to go in with a second layer of this. Also, the sponge has started to kind of feel a little bit dry right now, but that's alright. As long as it's soft and it does its job, I don't mind that. As you can see on my eyes, they are looking pretty covered up. I cannot see through most of my darkness. I don't have to go in with a second layer. Alright, now it's time for baking, and for that I will be using the other sponge. So again, we're gonna wet the sponge first. And when you do put them in water for the first time, the water does turn soapy, as you can see. And the reason for that is these sponges, every single one of them has been cleaned, so that we are putting a very clean sponge on our face and not just the ones that come from the industry. They have been cleaned, and this is the soap kind of that remains, so it's not harmful for you at all. In fact, this means that your sponge is very, very clean and bacteria free. So don't freak out even if the water turns soapy. Don't worry. After wetting the sponge, it has grown in size and it feels much, much softer. If you want, you can definitely use this one for your foundation and concealer, everything, because this again has become really soft, which I did not expect. So first we will be going in with a cream contour, because I want to see how it performs with creams. I'm going to be using this one by Inglot. You can't really see anything because it's so old. This is what the shade looks like. Turns it out quite well, as you can see. That's how the contour looks. I am quite impressed actually, because I wasn't expecting it to blend out cream product so well, but it did. Now I will be going in with a liquid blush. This is the Staniac liquid blush from the Balm Cosmetics, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of it on my cheeks and then just blend it out with the sponge. That blended it out quite well. Now I will be using a cream highlight. This is a Wet n Wild Illuminator in the shade When the Nude Strikes. I'm not a fan of how the highlighter is blending out. I think the cream highlighter works much better with the fingers. Cream products are all done. I'm gonna move on to baking, which I will be using the sponge and my trusty Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. This is in the shade 15 Light. Take it on the sponge like this. I'm just going to take it off. You can use a brush for this, but I'm just going to use the blender again, and I'm just going to press it in instead of taking it off so that it gets absorbed into the skin. Pretty good job at baking. This edge is really good for getting under your eyes, as I mentioned earlier, and it gives such a nice and airbrushed look, and it gets absorbed so easily with the sponge. So I will be back after doing my eyes to just show you how this works with other powders. Alright, so I am back with my eyes all done. And now let's test how the sponges perform with powder products. So for contouring, I will be going in with this Wet n Wild contour powder. I'm just going to take it on this side of it. That did a pretty good job. You have to be very careful with the amount of product that you're taking. But other than that, this did a really good job. Now for blush, I'll be using this Sugar Contour de Force mini blush in the shade Mauve Marble. This is what it looks like. And again, I'm just gonna take a little bit this time. Blush looks good, and now we will be moving on to the best part, which is obviously highlighter. And again, I'm gonna take something by Wet n Wild. And this is their Mega Glow highlighting powder in the shade Precious Petals. Just this edge. I don't really know if it's picking it up, and I'm just okay, it did pick up. With the highlighter, it gives like a very soft look, not a very highlighted look, which is nice if you're a subtle highlight person. For me, I am a very in your face kind of highlight person, so I'll probably not use a sponge for the highlight. Other than that, it's really great. Now I'm just gonna apply some lipstick. I'm using this one by Nykaa. This is in the shade Chai, by the way. Finished look. I hope it was informative and you could learn how to use the sponge, exactly what it's meant for and how to use it. And as for the review, I really do love the sponges. I think if you had to get one, I would ask you to go for this one because it is the best. It is so soft, and it also has a teardrop shape which you can use for baking, contouring and everything else. So just to list down the pros and cons of the product. For the pros, firstly, obviously it does not absorb much makeup, which is amazing. That's actually revolutionary since our sponges have always absorbed a lot of products, but you can save a lot of product with this one. Secondly, it is quite soft. It does come with a holder like this. I think if you're purchasing a bundle or something, so you can put your sponges right here after cleaning them, which is a really good thing. Thirdly, it is quite easy to wash. It is not absorbed into the beauty sponge, so it is easy to clean. Next, it blends out cream as well as powder products beautifully, and it gives a really nice airbrushed finish to the skin. It also gives you obviously a lot more coverage from your products, so that is a major pro. Lastly, it is cruelty free and latex free, which is a really good thing. Coming to the cons, firstly, it takes a little bit more time to blend out everything because it does not absorb any product, so it will take a relatively more time than your other beauty blenders. Secondly, the price point is a little bit steep compared to the rest of the brands that are available in the market. Also, the sponges may feel dry for a while. They're not dry, but they might feel dry, and we're so used to the wetness of the blender. And you feel that it's dry, you feel like, I need to wet this right now. But if you soak your sponge long enough, then that does not happen. Lastly, the packaging, it's a little too similar to the Juno sponge. If you're making something which is so revolutionary, and if you've been inspired by their idea but you're making your own sponges and you're giving so much time and effort to make it, then maybe you can make the packaging a little bit more different. I wish in future they would make their packaging a little different than what it is right now, because then the uniqueness would be there. That is 6 pros against 4 cons, and you can definitely decide what you want to do. I would definitely suggest you to give this a try. You won't regret it. Believe me, you won't regret it. I will be putting all the details of the Plume Co in the description box below, so make sure to check them out. And now let's see how you can clean the beauty blenders and store them properly. Let's see the technique. Squeeze it from the front and not from the sides, as that can damage the shape of the sponge. So for washing, I will first be taking a shampoo which is free from sulfates. This is by Fab India. And then I will be rubbing the shampoo all over the sponge with my fingers. Make sure you do not poke your beauty blender with your nails. And after squeezing it from the front, just get all the foundation out and then run it through some water and then just clean it till it's completely and squeaky clean. But do not worry about the stains that are left because they are not remnants of any product but only stains. Now repeat all the same steps for the other sponge. You should not worry about any of the stains and don't try to clean it further because you might end up harming your sponge. After the sponges are clean, make sure to store them in a dry place, and if you have the holder then make sure to store it there so that it does not get dirty again.